Hello, hello. So, I wanted to showcase something with the cruiser here. So, when I was playing in the new update recently, I noticed that items would sometimes disappear on top of the cruiser, and sometimes they didn't. So, I was really confused. So, I did a lot of testing to figure out why items sometimes disappeared and why sometimes they didn't. And I think I have figured out why. So, to showcase this, let's first start with getting 4 shovels, and let me just go to the top of the cruiser and put them on. Alright, I have placed my 4 shovels. Let's take off. So, the cruiser is attached. I just, walked on top of the ship, dropped off the shovels. So, are they gonna disappear or are they gonna stay? Alright, autosave is complete, so now we can re-land. And they are gone. They have disappeared. They are no longer in existence. Okay. So, why does this happen? I believe the reason why is that the top of the cruiser no longer counts as being a part of the ship by itself. And what I mean by that is, if you just place items here, whether it's equipment or scrap or whatever, if you just place it on top of the ship while it's magnetized, it will not count as being part of the ship. However, if you place items on the ship or on the cruiser and then you magnetize it, it will count as being part of the ship, because it counts everything on top of the cruiser as being a part of the ship as soon as it's magnetized. So let's do the same thing from before. Let's get 4 shovels. Same thing as before. You can come over here, drop them like this, but this time we're going to detach it and then remagnetize it. And bam, now that we've remagnetized it, it should count those as being a part of the ship and thus stay on top of the cruiser. So, to showcase this, let's go ahead and take off. Alright, gotta wait for the autosave, and then we can re-land. Alright. And there you go, there you have it. 4 shovels still on the cruiser. So, do be careful. If you take one of these shovels or move them, once I do this, like if I were to just place it back down like this, it'll disappear. Because again, the top of the cruiser does not count as being part of the ship until it's magnetized. Or at the time of being magnetized, I should specify. So if you move it, whatever, you have to make sure that when you re-drop it, or afterwards, you detach it and reattach it. This only really is applicable on the company moon, because if you are on like Artifice, for example, and you drive up to the magnet, more than likely you're not detaching it and reattaching it there, and there won't be any need to, because everything that'll be on top, all of your scrap, all of your items, will all still be there. You just have to be careful with what you pick up, because if you are picking up loot and you accidentally pick up your shovels, you will have to put those back into the ship, either inside or drop them through like this. Because this still works, by the way. Dropping them through, they still count, they don't disappear. So you can always do that as well. So yeah, you can keep all of your items. You just have to make sure that you have them all on there at the time of being magnetized, or you can just do it again like that, and it'll count. As for why sometimes you would have items stay on even if you didn't do this, I found the same trick can work for equipment as scrap. You know how with like beehives and stuff, you can like run up here, go up here, go up here, and then you can like run around, drop a beehive, and it will count as being on ship? Well, that also works with the cruiser. So if I were to take one of these shovels, now that I've taken it into my inventory, it will no longer be part of the ship if I just put it on top without remagnetizing it. But if I were to do this, it will count because there's that, you know, I guess you can call it a bug, I'm not sure, but where things will count as being on ship as long as you do this jump and don't go too far. If you go too far to the right, it won't count. But this will also make it count as being part of the ship, so it won't disappear. But again, there's no need to do that because you can just remagnetize it and save yourself a lot of headache. So as long as you are not moving your equipment or your scrap and putting it back on there, putting it back on the top of this cruiser without remagnetizing it, everything will stay. So anyway, I hope that helps. Hope that clears up some confusion on that, because it definitely confused me for a while. But yeah, that's all I wanted to show.